Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Random Questions here live at the Legends of Poker Bicycle Casino with none other than downtown Chad Brown. And how are things going so far since we caught you in the middle of the tournament? How's the stack? How's the table?
Well, we have two more levels left for the evening, and at this point, I'm almost doubled my stack. It's a little shy of probably about 56,000. So I'm in pretty good shape.
Good deal, good deal. And everything's kind of pulling along then.
Yeah. Staying out of trouble. I had a feeling someone had a set in a hand. I had overpair on a 7-high board.
Yeah.
And just got rid of it. And, trying to avoid, as Phil Hellmuth put, dodge bullets.
Dodge bullets, baby. Yeah. Hey, now, 167 people to start it off today. Good size, about 17 tables, everything else. Some pretty well-known names here, and of course, LA always has some good players. Is there anybody you don't want to see move to your table, or a table you wouldn't want to move to that you've seen so far?
Listen, like you said, there's a lot of really good players here. So, at a certain level, it's not a big disparity. You just have to make adjustments that work for whoever's at your table. Whatever adjustments are the right adjustments to make. So, whoever's in this tournament, I'm going to have to face it when I get to the final table anyway. It's going to be good players at the final table, so I have to beat everyone.
All right, it's all set. Now, one thing, though, I noticed here, you had actually what maybe not financially hugely successful, but I would call a good World Series. You had 5 cashes, 4 of those in non-hold'em events, no-limit hold'em events. Have you been brushing up on the mixed games? Have you been working on it there, or what?
Well, that's my forte anyway. And when I'm playing cash games, I'm playing mixed games. So, playing horse or any variation of mixed games, I'm going to be a big favorite in that field.
Yeah.
I did cash 5 times, but it wasn't really that good of a World Series for me. I bubbled 3 times. And out of the 5 times, 3 times I was close to the final table and read badly. So, but these things happen, and I was real happy with the way I played. And unfortunately, even in the 50K horse, I got knocked out 24th. I didn't cash in that. But like I said, as long as you're happy with the way you play, that's really all you can do. And then wait till next year.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody's going to argue with getting down anywhere near the last 3 or 4 tables in that field, and the 50K horse was an easy feat, so that certainly comes across as something big. On that line, just to open up these questions before we go completely off the beaten path, what would you say your biggest accomplishment is in your poker career?
Winning Bluff Magazine's Player of the Year.
All right. And what, just to bounce that, your biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment was making the final table in Atlantic City in 2005 for the ESPN WSOP circuit event that was televised. I went there as chip leader, and I got knocked out 7th, and didn't play my best.
Right.
So I was disappointed in myself.
That's always a pretty damn tough one. What was your defining moment where you said, you know what, I'm a professional poker player?
There was no defining moment. I was playing poker professionally while I was pursuing my acting career, so it was a dual professional job. Playing, it's like if you were a waiter, you're a professional waiter, but really you're also an actor, waiting for your next gig. So that happened many years ago.
That's easy enough. If you were home alone and your place catches fire, you've got time to grab one thing before you run out of the house. What do you grab and why?
I grabbed Vanessa because she'll be really pissed off if I left her in there.
Now, you'd be home alone, and I'm glad to see you're not leaving your girl to burn to death. But you're home alone, okay. So we'll go with something else then.
If I was home alone and I had to grab one thing, if I happen to have chips or cash in my house, that's what I would grab.
There you go. All right. Now, it may be inevitable with as good as both you and Vanessa play that someday you'll find each other at the final table. Are you looking forward to that, or is there a little bit of hesitation and dread back there too?
No, I mean, it's a great thing. Actually, it would be a great thing. It would be bad if I would feel badly if I knock her out you know, I wouldn't. I don't care if she would knock me out, but I would feel badly if I knocked her.
That's good. We'll have to find out one of these days if she feels the same way. Now, what's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you on a date?
Strangest thing that's ever happened to me on a date, I would have to say, pretty easily is I had met a girl who comes from a very famous family. I didn't know it when I met her, but on our first date we went to dinner, and of course she told me how wealthy her family was, and they're a very well-known family, and said that the FBI had her and her brother under surveillance when they were in high school because they had information that there was a plot to kidnap them for ransom. So we go to a movie afterwards. It was in Westwood, and it was the last show of the evening, and it's one of those big theaters in Westwood where they have the movie premieres, and it was only like 10 people in there though. So all couples, and they each had these huge long rows. Each couple was in the center of each row all by themselves. During the middle of the movie, she goes to the ladies' room, and 30 minutes goes by and she doesn't come back. So I thought maybe she had, gotten ill or something, and I went to check on her. And when you go down, you have to go out of the doors of the movie theater and down the stairs, and that's the only way down to the lobby where the ladies' rooms are. So I go downstairs, and there's no workers around, no one. I open the door, she's not in there. And I'm like, wow, she was just telling me about this plot to kidnap them. And I'm like, could this have happened while I was on a date with her? And I'm like, or B, did she like just blow me off? Which, like, that's almost impossible. Because I'm always a gentleman on a date.
Let's hope so.
And so it's like 20 minutes left in the movie, and thinking about what I need to do. I go upstairs, and I'm like, I'm going to stand by the door. When the movie's over, if I don't see her, I'm going to have to call the police. I'm just going to have to do that. Movie ends, and the 8 couples come walking up, and here she comes. And she's beat red in the face, and I'm like, what happened? And she's like, oh, I was wearing like this white sweater that evening. She's like, well, you had that white sweater on. When I came back from the ladies' room, I saw you, and I walked into the aisle, and I sat next to you, and I said, did you try to grab my hand? And she goes, well, I looked right into your face, but you wouldn't look at me. You were really into the movie, so I just felt I'd let you be. And obviously what happened is she sat next to some other guy and his girlfriend or wife who was on his right, who she didn't see. And they're probably wondering, like, why is this chick coming and sitting next to this guy when there's like 1,000 seats in this theater? So that was the strangest thing.
That would qualify without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move into something a little more philosophical. According to Chad Brown, what is the meaning of life in 10 words or less?
The meaning of life is to enjoy it to the fullest, do things that make you happy as much as often as possible.
That's somewhere around 10. I'll go with it. All right. Most notable thing about you that people just don't know?
Well, it's hard to nowadays say what people don't know because there's so many things written about a lot of the top pro poker players, especially after becoming Player of the Year. There's so much, insight into, not only my poker career but my personal life. So I wouldn't know what they wouldn't know.
No secret thing.
No, there's nothing.
You're really good at tongue twisters, can cross your eyes.
Actually, there is one thing that there's definitely one thing that most of the poker world does not know about me, and it's going to stay like that.
Oh, so I'm just going to try to break an exclusive here, but no love on that. All right, random choice question: if you could have one of the following and only one, which would you choose? The perfect cook, personal secretary, driver, housekeeper, masseuse, or bodyguard?
I would go with the perfect masseuse.
Do you enjoy explosions?
No.
All right. Now, this is a segment we're going to call Would You Rather. We're down to about the last 2 minutes here, so I'm going to give you a couple things, and they're odd things, but you can tell us which one you'd rather do. Would you rather be lost or bored?
Both don't sound particularly appealing, so we'll just flip a coin. And could be lost, could be bored.
All right. Brilliant and tortured, or simple-minded but happy?
Simple-minded and happy.
All right. Too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
All right. Burned alive quickly or frozen to death slowly?
Burned alive quickly.
All right. Fighting or surviving?
Fighting or surviving?
Would you rather be fighting or surviving?
It's always about, life is, our nature is about survival, so it's always about survival.
All right. Would you rather be ugly or dumb?
Well, it depends on how dumb. If I was retarded, I'd rather be retarded.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you know what? I've always said, I think that, people who are born retarded, for the most part, from my observation, this is not scientific, seem like they're happy as long as they have good caretakers taking care of them. Because they don't know anything but what's going on in their day, so they don't have a lot of problems. You had asked a question earlier that you want to be, brilliant and tortured, or simple-minded. This is a similar question.
Right. Well, that works. All right. UFOs, fact or fiction?
Unknown.
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 All right. Now, this one is the last philosophical thing. You get an audience with God. You can ask God 3 questions, and God will grant you those answers to those 3 questions. What are the 3 questions you ask?
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head.
Players, start taking your seats, please. All players, please start taking your seats.
We're down to the last few seconds. Got to be a little louder.
I wouldn't have anything of any interest that I'd want to ask God. Once you see God, that pretty much answers it all.
I think that's probably a very solid answer right there. That works for me. Chad Brown, you've been a real sport. Thank you for doing random questions on Life's a Bluff, and great luck in the tournament today.
Thank you.